Hey, dear Tyler, good morning. How are you doing? I really hope you're fine. I hope you're good. I hope you've had an awesome week so far, and I hope your morning is going really well. And I'm sure that, like the regular stuff, some good things happening, maybe one or two little challenges here and there, but I'm sure you're really hanging on and doing good. The good thing about challenges is that it stretches us, and being stretched means that you have the capacity for more, the capacity to withstand pressure, the capacity to receive more accolades, or to become better, to become bigger. That's one of the benefits of overcoming challenges. Another thing is every challenge that you overcome, it's like you've gotten a master key on it. It's like the next time when that challenge pops up, you literally know what to do. Almost every challenge that we face, right, and we conquer, we lose fear of it. Right, we lose fear of it. I remember the first time I tried swimming, just looking at the water and all. Entering into the water was like a very freaky experience. And after I got into the water and I survived it, the next time the tension was still there, but then it was more like a familiar ground. It was a familiar fall, and I understood that if I just followed the same principles that I'd learned the first day, I'll get through it. And then it got to a point that I'm not even thinking, just jumping into the water and all. So it's one of the good things about being brave enough to face certain challenges, right? So challenges are actually good. So the last episode was really awesome. Thank you so much for your feedback. I know a whole lot of us were afraid that probably like that was the end of the podcast. That was like the last episode. But after going through the episode, they really got the idea, and I knew that it was a very catchy topic, very catchy phrase. It left a lot of people in thoughts, but my joy is the impact that it had, and not just for you, but even for me. I usually take out a lot of time to still go back and listen to the podcast. Now for me, when I first started, I used to have like points that I write and follow them very religiously to kind of like give a proper arc, or to give a proper storyline, so that I'll be able to progress in a strategic manner. But then I think over time I just decided that one of the things that I want to do is to be able to speak from my heart, experiences that I've had, and things that I've learned over time. So I wanted it to be as raw as possible. And so yes, I do have the theme, I do have like the topics and all that I want to talk about, but then most of it just flows. I start with the topic, and we have the story in mind to share, and then I move, and I just flow with that. So it was really, 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 really great. A really great episode. It's helped me, and I wanted to say thank you for sharing it with others. It's great to know that these things are being a blessing to people. Yes, and then I'm apologizing. I know that I was meant to send the captions, and I've not done it throughout this week. I will not give an excuse. I'll just tender an apology, and I'd work on making it more consistent. Whatever caused it, definitely working on it, that it won't repeat itself, right? And at the end of this episode, I do have an announcement that I think would be really, really nice, especially for us that listen. So it would be great. So today's topic is setting records, breaking them. And we just, for those of us that are aware, the Olympics just concluded. It's always a great sporting event, seeing all of these athletes that have disciplined themselves for years to participate in an event that probably does not last a very long time. Their preparation is always miles and miles and miles ahead of the main performance that day. The time that they spend preparing is a lot more than the time they actually have to perform that event. And it always blows my mind. And one of the things that you notice about the Olympics is that there is this urge to see people that are going to break records and going to do great exploits. I think this Olympics had quite a lot of records being broken. I can't really pinpoint out which ones, but yeah, a lot of records were broken. And for like my own place in Nigeria, I think we actually had our first Olympic swimmer, and she actually even won her heat, which was awesome. It was really nice seeing. I think somebody was rowboating, I think it's boat rowing, or I can't really pick it out. I'm sorry for that. And then I think our first ever Nigerian gymnast. It was just nice, irrespective of the fact that they didn't win any medal per se, but it was just nice seeing us participate in some certain things. And the whole Olympic event is what inspired this particular episode. And because it's a competition. Now, how valuable is competition to us? Competition does, it does have its perks. There are good things about it. It actually shows us how good we line up to what is regarded as a standard, right? So, if you're able to qualify for the Olympics, it means that you have actually risen up to a standard that the world really values and honors and recognizes, right? For whatever event it is, right? If you make it into the main event, it means that you achieved a certain level of competence. That's really good. If you're able to look at competition from the right perspective, right? From the right perspective. Now, there's this stuff that usually happens, and I would try to put it in an analogy. So, imagine a 20-year-old bragging that he's the fastest runner within his space, and then everybody within his space is a 5-year-old. So he always comes first in those races, and he keeps on saying, I'm the fastest, right? And then the flip side, a 5-year-old that runs with 20-year-olds, and he always keeps on coming last. And he's like, I'm not a good runner because I'm always coming last. Now, you could see that one of the challenges is the competition that each of these individuals have put themselves in, right? They either put themselves in a standard that is way too high or a standard that is way too low. People that put themselves in a standard that is too low are people that probably have a very low perception of themselves, and they try to put themselves in a position where they can consistently be celebrated. Do you understand? Where there is no challenge. You understand? There's no challenge. This is a true story. One of my cousins once wanted to learn how to play the drum, and when he got to the place where the person was teaching him, right, in the group at home, he literally, the person in charge of the group literally looked at my cousin and said, I'm not going to teach you because I don't want you to become better than me. And he really didn't teach him. Now you can see that there are a lot of people that are really challenged in the sense where they have a very low perception of themselves, and in order for them to feel valuable, they put themselves in a circle that they know that they're already greater than, that no matter what happens within that circle, they would always remain better than them. And if that circle grows, they quickly change the circle, or they put certain things to suppress other people, right? So, or think about the movie the gladiator, right? So the emperor already knew that Maximus is a better fighter and all, so he gives himself an advantage by stabbing Maximus in his side and with poison. So he's already weak, which already sets him up with an advantage. And then the flip side story of the individual that puts himself in a higher standard, always trying to reach up to people. And these are people who do not appreciate the process, and are in a haste to make a certain impact, right? That they do not understand that it takes time to grow into certain levels and all. But then a lot of people actually do involve themselves in that, they set a very high watermark after they've not, clearly knowing that they've not gained that certain level of competence in whatever it is that they're doing. They set a very high watermark, and every single time they don't hit that watermark, they get disappointed and they become extremely depressed, right? Depression is not a good motivating factor. It doesn't even motivate at all. Now, so these are some of the backlashes of competition. If you've not been able to define what your true competition is. Now, it's good. Now, I'm not saying that you should not have goals or targets. No, that's not what I'm saying. Or that you should not aspire to be better than people. No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that if you understand where your real competition is, you'll be able to apply your energy properly, and you'll be able to appreciate the steps of progress. I used to have this very, very low self-esteem issue because I used to feel like I was not as good as some certain people in certain things. And because of that, I literally didn't try to do things. And taking our time with God one day, just asking Him some of these questions. This was what I heard. Your greatest competition is yourself. Your greatest competition is yourself. Now, I've had this word for a long time. It's always been part of me. But I think I understood it during the Olympics. Now, there was a Nigerian sprinter that made it to the 100 meters final. But unfortunately, he pulled his hamstring in the final, which was really sad. We really had high hopes for him. But yeah, these things do happen. But nonetheless, we're proud of him. He did the nation proud. In his qualifying for the finals, there was a statement that was made, and it was that he had broken his personal best. Now, whenever you see PB in the Olympics, it's personal best. So that is their own personal record. What is their own fastest time, or what is their greatest achievement? Now, he broke a record he had set before. Now, that's a proof that he was really getting faster. That's the proof. The proof of his speed, right, was not the fact that he came first. No, the proof of his speed was that he broke his own record. The first thing that a trainer would always look at is that, okay, I know that the target is for you to become the best, but in order for you to become the best, you have to be better every day. You have to be better every day. You have to be able to break those, records that you have set yourself. So probably you have somebody that is able to do a certain thing, maybe do 10 things in a day, right? And you've struggled to even achieve one. So you achieve one, you celebrate it. The day you're able to do 2, you've actually become better. The other person may still be, breaking 10 and thinking of how to break 11, right? And it may look like not much is happening, but you're breaking your own records. And that's what's most important. The most important thing is that your today should be better than yesterday. And you should have an anticipation that your tomorrow should be better than your today. It's about you. It's about you. What goals do you have? Is it a financial goal? To sit down and think that you could... Okay, so Bill Gates, when he sleeps and wakes up, he's $3 million richer. Every day, $3 million is added to whatever he's worth. Now that's crazy. There's this analogy that they said that it's not worth. If Bill Gates, right, drops $1, that it will not be worth anything for him. Like, picking it up will not mean anything. That by the time he goes down to pick up that $1, that $100 note, he has already made more than that within that period of time. So imagine I now wake up one morning through my financial struggle, and I say I want to make $100 every second. You're exaggerating, and you literally set up yourself for disappointment, which leads to depression. You're literally setting up yourself for it. So you could one of the best things to do with people that are ahead of you, they should be pointers and proofs that certain things are achievable. Certain things are achievable. I can attain to that certain level of wealth, or I can break that. I can be that fast. I could be that competent, but I'm never going to reach that level if that's the only target I set for myself. That's the only target I set for myself. No. What I need to do is to look within and find out, okay, where am I at the moment? In order for me to be the best, I need to become better. I cannot carry my present state and conquer the world. I cannot carry my present state and conquer whatever issue it is. I cannot carry my present state and overcome whatever challenge I'm facing. No. If my present state was capable of doing it, then I should be living that reality. So it means that we need to avoid being overbearing on ourselves, trying to hit certain targets by force. No. So, who is your competition? You are your competition. The goal is to be better each day. Sometimes I feel a little bit tempted to say, like, I'd rather be better than be best. But it's basically from a certain standpoint. Being the best shows a certain level of competence. But even those who are regarded as the best always seem to push for something higher. Always push for something higher. So you see, those of us that understand or are conversant with the footballing world, there's been this lifelong argument about who is the better footballer, if it's Ronaldo or if it's Messi. And as much as we argue, we say, no, Ronaldo is better, he did this, Messi is better, he has done that, right? One of the things I've noticed is that they've always pushed to be better. So maybe this year they were giving the award for the world best. You never ever see them relaxing. Never see them relaxing. I think somebody said, I think I was listening to a talk by someone, and he said one of the world's worst prizes to receive is either the Nobel Peace Prize or any of these Nobel Prizes or so. And he said the reason is that you never find that they never win it twice. That most of them that have attained that Nobel Prize usually live with that accolade till they die. They're not necessarily pursuing more. Now, it may be probably misinterpreted. Maybe they are doing it and then maybe they're actually trying to get better, and the world is just like, let's shift our focus. We can't talk about the same thing over and over again. But I did understand it. At least I was able to personalize it. You get there certain times when you achieve certain things and you're like, you get the praises of people and people celebrate you and they say that, you're awesome, that you're great, that you're the best, that you're the best at. Let me share a little story. So back in university then, while I was in ABU, I used to play this video game with some guys in the room, PES, right, Pro Evolution Soccer. And sometimes I used to win. So there was this period where I was like on a winning streak. I was just winning anyhow. It was just fun, winning. And so I decided, I was like, hi, I think I'm like one of the best football players, as in game players that I know. So I said, let me take my skill to the social center. And that was one of my most regrettable moments when I got to the social center. And I paid, I started playing and I scored the first goal. And I was like, come on, I'm living the best life. That match ended 6-1. And I was like, no, I think I've mastered the person's playing style. I paid again. And the match still ended 6-1. So the first time I scored first. The second time I actually scored last. Like, the guy had so mastered me. And I learned a very painful lesson that day. Because you win doesn't necessarily make you the best. The goal is for you to become better and more proficient at what you do. This need to show that you are better than everybody can literally put you in a whole big mess, right? So set your high targets. That's the goal. Your vision is to become the best singer, the best baker, the best hairstylist, the best maybe musician, the best public speaker, orator, the world's most recognized business mogul, whatever it is, keep that vision clear, right? But then the goal itself, daily goals, is to be better than you were yesterday, right? Be better than you were yesterday. For every sprinter that runs, every microsecond that is decreased is a major step for them. It looks small, it looks insignificant, but it shows that you are acclimatizing towards being within that certain sphere. Right? So this is my admonition for us this week. Set records, Tyler, and break them. Set your own personal best and break them. Take an evaluation of what you're able to achieve in a day. Right? Appreciate it, whether if it was much, whether it was little, right? And then your target should be that the next day you should be able to achieve a lot more. They could be daily goals, it could be weekly goals, it could be monthly. However you decide to do it, it's really left to you, right, Tyler? But the most important thing is that you are breaking the records that you have set previously. So every record that you set needs to be broken. So once you break your record, your own personal record, your own personal best, you have set a record which needs to be broken, that keeps you hungry for success, that keeps you hungry for excellence. You would never get to the point where you'll be satisfied with your achievements. Never get to the point. You would be grateful for them, but that point of satisfaction would never come. You would never ever get to the point that you begin to have this mediocre attitude and you'd start like, no, I think I'm comfortable in this space, right? I'm comfortable in this space. Sometimes one of the funniest things to ever see is the whole world richest man stuff. Like, I think for a long time it was, you see Jeff Bezos is the richest man, then Elon Musk, and then this clothing line person, I can't remember, he came, and then he now dropped, Elon Musk went back, and Jeff Bezos, it's just, it keeps on, it has this sinusoidal kind of like pattern. And most of them are not necessarily looking to, outdo the other. They just want to be better daily. And that's what they just do. Right? So, make that commitment. Let's make that commitment, Tyler, that every blessed day we're going to be better. That you're going to stretch yourself beyond what you know that you can comfortably achieve, right? You're going to move a step higher, and one thing that would help is record progress. Record your progress. I know people that have this desire for weight loss and all. There are a lot of therapists that allow them to have like a calendar, right? And every day they write down their weight. And for the first few days, nothing may really change. But then once they're consistent with it, they find out that maybe over a period of 2 months, they've lost probably like 10, 20 kg. And that motivates them. They're not looking, they look at maybe another person's physique and it's like, okay, that's my goal. But then every day they look back on their own calendar and then they write down, they see, okay, wow, I was weighing like 200 kg before, but right now I'm like 150. In like 2 months I'll be able to lose like 50 kg. I'm just exaggerating and all, but I'm sure you get the point, right? If you remain your competition, right, outdoing what you've been able to do before, it keeps that hunger going. Right? And so let's take our time and do that, Tyler. Right? Let's take our time and do that. It would be extremely, extremely helpful, right? So let's take our time and do that, and I'm sure we would have really, really lively and motivating days, right? Once again, set records, Tyler, and then break them. Set records, break them. Set records, break them. Set records, break them. Right? So, I really hope that this blessed you, and you've been motivated enough, and you've been able to understand certain things more. So the announcement that I have is that I've decided that every end of the month, the last Thursday of every month, I'll share your own story, Tyler. Now, if you have a story that you'd love to share and you would you'd want me to share it on the podcast, however brief it is, it doesn't really matter. Or I've created the platform where it's possible. You could just send an email to deartyler@gmail.com, deartyler@gmail.com, and one of the things I promise is that you would remain anonymous, right? You'd remain anonymous throughout. So you just hear your story, but then your personal information would never ever be given out. And so I'm sure a lot of people would still be blessed to hear your own story, Tyler. So you could send that to me, and so every last Thursday of the month is going to be your own story, Tyler, and you'll be able to bless other Tylers around the world, right? So I really hope that this blessed you, it helped you, and this is me saying that I love you, I believe in you, and I'm always rooting for you, right? Do have an awesome day. Let's share this podcast, and I'd love your feedback. God bless you. Bye.